So this story, it's not a story, it's an actual real event that happened. I'm going to tell you how it happened, why it happened, where it happened, when it happened, how I felt when it happened. Okay, so this was last year. I worked at a junior high school, and every day I would leave school and I would come down to Main Street and then go up to the station, right? And sometimes, I would be on one side of the street where all the kids are, so they're also leaving school, and they're like, "Hey, Mashu Sensei," and goodbye, and I might walk with them and talk about the weather. That's all we really taught them. So, how's the weather? It's sunny, like, yeah. Or I would walk on the opposite side because they don't cross the street until like the light, so that way I wouldn't have to deal with any kids asking me about the weather. And so when I'm on the other side, I would see these old dudes talking, just old dudes on the porch, just talking about the good old days. I could imagine that's what they were talking about. Maybe they were talking about whatever. So I'm walking, and one day, one of the old guys like, "Sensei, desu ka?" Something like that. And I'm like, "Hi, Sensei desu." And he's like, So, the situation here, I'm not going to repeat what he said, but how he said it. Because he was one of them old Japanese guys. He was slurring and he had life in him. He lived a full life. And that's how he talked. And I'm like, so I got this super RG computer in my head, and I can translate things into sense. So take nonsicle and turn it into sense. Take a nonsicle and turn it into a sensicle. So and I'm picking out words here and there. So, "Are you a school teacher over there?" I'm like, "Yes." But you know this. You see me every day, basically. I've seen you a couple times. So, for the next 45 minutes, we are talking. It started off, we were a teacher. He mentioned about English is hard. He even threw out a couple English words. And then he was just like, "Yeah, English is difficult." And then he said something about when he was a little kid. He mentioned the chocolate story. Like, in the wartime, the military, army people came over and they gave little kids chocolate. He brought that up. He mentioned Obama. He's like, "Oh, President Obama." And then he went on, he back to the school, he's like, "The girls are cute, kawaii." That's kind of creepy. I can see why he sits there now, because he's sitting there scoping. Okay, very common. For sure. So then we're talking, and I don't want to talk anymore. I want to go home. I already live an hour and a half away from where I work. I don't want to be here any later. But I'm being polite. I'm just sitting there, and he's talking. I mean, I understood about 70%. But I don't want to understand 100%. I don't, truthfully, I don't really care. I wasn't in the mood to talk. He's infringing on my off time. I mean, maybe that's rude, but I only got so much time between when I'm home and work and then train ride. What? Alright, so I know that might sound rude, but I mean, I got things to do. And he was just talking and talking and talking and talking. So finally he's like, "Are you going to the station?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Ikimashou." So he gets up. And I'm thinking he's going to give me a ride to the station. So now I'm thinking, should I get into the car with the creepy old Japanese guy? I know it's Japan and it's safe, but is that the best move for rhyming gaijin? I don't want to be in a newspaper. ALT found dead behind the trailer park. Old man suspect. Yeah, because then I would be #1 YouTuber. The dumbass YouTuber who got killed by the old man who didn't speak like a normal old man would speak. I don't know how old people speak. One day I'll be old, and I hope I can talk like this, but just slower. So, when I was young. Anyway, so that's my story about the old guy. I got a lot of stories about old people. Old people are nice. Anyway, peace, rhyming.